Hi, it's Martin from the Accelerator team here at Robson Laidler, and I'm talking today to Mark Bryant from Media Partnerships. Hi Mark, how are you doing?
Very well, how are you?
I'm good. We're going to be talking about video marketing,
That's right.
and you're going to take us through 5 simple ways to remember the types of video content.
That's right, yeah. It's all about
I might have missold that, but yeah.
categorising video content to bring people down the sales funnel.
So to help people figure out the type of content to use in different ways in their business.
That's
But
right.
give us a 30-second pitch on what you do though, and
Okay, so essentially, I'm Mark from Media Partnership. We do video production specifically to generate sales within businesses and help businesses build up a relationship with their ideal customers, essentially. It's all about generating sales. That's what we do.
Right, okay, well let's educate the hell out of people on the next 25 minutes or so on video marketing. So where do we start?
So the way that we tell people to start is, first of all, it's all about attracting your ideal customer. So you need to know what the ideal customer actually looks like.
So in a basic marketing perspective, you
Exactly.
need to know who you're trying to draw to, you don't you?
Exactly, yeah.
Let's assume we've got the image of the perfect buyer to, bloke in his early 30s because we're trying to sell kayaks to people who've got young kids and they want weekends away with their lads or whatever. But we've gone through that whole process.
Yeah.
At what point do we bring video into this thing?
So it's all about, to begin with, it's all about attracting them. So how do you attract them towards your business? So essentially what we start with, we call it hero content. So this is kind of top of funnel content, which is all about attracting your ideal customer to make them, sit up and actually listen to what you have to say. Okay. Ideally that would result in a sale. Generally that doesn't normally happen. That's mainly down to the rule of 7, that people normally need to see a brand at least 7 times before they buy.
Yeah. Because the first time it's like, it might be a quirky, it might be a great advert, but
Exactly.
It's normally after you've seen it a few times you think, actually I might have a look on their website, and then eventually you might click and buy something.
Exactly, yeah. So that's your top of funnel, your hero content. How can you attract those to actually listen to your message, essentially? And
okay, so your hero content, that would be what your kind of your TV ad, your
video promos, essentially anything where you're kind of putting your hand up and getting people to actually try and listen to it. But yeah, as you said there, kind of TV ads they fall into the hero category.
The classic example of a hero type content, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and one thing I'd say about hero content as well is generally you would throw a bit more budget at hero content.
Yeah.
Because that's your first impressions last, essentially. That you need to make the best first impression that you can. You generally throw a bit more budget at the production of that, but also. Hero content is often paid ads to cold audiences. So you're showing these ads to people who've never heard about your brand at all. So how can you first of all, attract them to listen to what you have to say?
So yeah, I mean, and everyone's got their favourite adverts, and also every late night TV show's got a link where they show you 3 adverts and you can't figure out what the hell it's for.
Yeah.
So what you put in there, who knows? It's a dark art, but. So this is your big budget, your celebrity endorsement kind of Usain Bolt for Virgin, that kind of thing on the TV.
It can be to that stage. Stage. Essentially,
but most of our listeners and audiences won't have that. But it's still, they put a lot of time and energy into getting this exactly right. Is that?
That's right. Yeah.
It's less throwaway. It's
exactly. Yeah. So, and generally, your hero content, you probably, we've got clients that freshen it up every 2 or 3 months. We've got other clients that run it for 2 or 3 years.
It's working.
Essentially, yeah, exactly. That it's all about kind of showing that message in front of those target audiences. But yeah, it doesn't necessarily need to be celebrity endorsement, but generally it's all about
budget.
Exactly.
You do a nice job of it.
Yes, essentially, it's a bit more polished. It's more polished than the other content that you'll be putting out.
Okay then. So we've got people's attention.
Yeah.
What are the types of?
Okay, so if you think about the traditional sales funnel, obviously right at the top.
You said funnel before, so again, some of our audience might not know, but this is a sales funnel. This is taking people from, randoms to suspects to prospects to sales, that kind of.
That's right.
You eliminate people in each part of the funnel until you get a sale.
Exactly, yeah. So kind of really simplifying it, the version that we tend to use is using the ADA principle. So that's, you've got attention, interest, desire, and action. So right at the top, you've got the attention side of it, and then you've got the interest, desire, and action. So first of all, you attract people to your brand. Hopefully they build up some kind of interest in what you have to say. Then hopefully they'll start to desire what you have
Once they've
to
seen
offer.
it enough, they'll desire it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then once they desire it, it's all about them taking action, essentially. So
Making the purchase. I'm assuming everything's digital here, but it doesn't have to be. But I'm assuming someone's clicking to buy it at the bottom of there.
that's right, yeah. So generally, you're going to take people through to a website to either make a purchase or give you some kind of data. So generally, it's worst case, it's going to be an email address.
An email address for even if it's just a mailing list subscriber, you want some action at the end of it.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
But at the same time, you know, we have clients who have a hotline number on things like TV ads, and you know, it's all about just getting people to ring the phone.
Yeah.
Essentially, or it could even be to, you know, visit a premises or visit an event. It doesn't necessarily need to be a digital.
I suppose
call
the
to
key
action.
thing here, though, is this hero content has to have a purpose.
Yes.
It can't just be, here is Robson Laidler on there, great, or here is Virgin on there, great. It's, we've got a new product coming, or you want people to do something. You want to tell them about something big, or get them to do something. Changing the lead. I don't know. I'm struggling to think of ideas here, but you don't just make adverts for the sake of it, do you?
Exactly, yeah. It's all about solving people's pain points, essentially. That generally with businesses, you know, people have a pain point. They have something that they want to solve.
Yeah.
That could be that, you know, they want to make more sales, or they want more money. They want to save more money. It could be they want a relationship. So in terms of, you know, okay, how do we solve that pain point that people have? So, you know, it's a case of what is that pain point? How can we solve that? And, you know, how can we bring them essentially into that?
Is
that
hero
world.
content, again, I'm just thinking TV ad, but it's not just TV ad, but is it normally fairly short, fairly punchy? This isn't going to be, you don't make hero content for an hour, do you?
Exactly. I mean, there are ways you can run longer form hero content.
Right.
I'm not going to go too deep into this because we're here all day. But essentially, there's a strategy that people are using on YouTube now as well, which is all about you essentially give people value first. So in say the first 30 seconds, 10 seconds, when you grab that person's attention, you could say, you know, in this video, I'm going to talk about X, Y, and Z that's going to help you with, you know, ABC, essentially. So it's all about bringing people into watching that video, and then you actually, within that video on YouTube, you then go deeper into that content and actually give them some really valuable tips that they can go away and use. And then at the end, there's a call to action that says that, you know, say we're going to be doing like a webinar, something like that.
So you might solve part of their problem.
Exactly.
Enough to demonstrate that you've got credibility, you know what you're talking about.
Yes.
You may give them half an hour of something, but at the end, you're still, there's more to give.
Yeah, so it might be that, you know, we're going to do a really deep dive into this section, which will tell you how to solve whatever problem this is. So you can run that longer form content, but the whole purpose is that you need to keep people's attention throughout, essentially. So it needs to be some kind of real value that you're giving people.
Okay, then. So we've got hero. What else have we got there, Mark?
Okay, so bringing people down the sales funnel. Once they know about you, then hopefully they start following you on YouTube or LinkedIn or whatever it is, which social platform.
Yeah.
The next kind of content is hub content. So hub content is, okay, so how can we give people additional value without selling to them? Additional videos that they maybe, you know, not be searching for, that is really going to, you know, help them with their pain point, or it might even just be, you know, kind of talking about something that they're going to relate to. So, you know, tips and tricks videos, they're always really go down
things
really
to
well.
avoid, things to try.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
It may be that you might have found a new bit of software that you think is really useful and you want to share that with your audience, essentially kind of talking through that. Customer testimonials as well, they fall into that hub category as well. You can kind of drip feed those out. It might be a case study video of, you know, a situation where there's been a problem and you've helped solve that problem. Essentially, any kind of video that's not selling and people aren't necessarily searching for, but videos that are specifically targeted to your target audience.
So let's say I've captured you're in my funnel now. You've seen the advert, the hero. You quite like what we do, and I go. So I do this sometimes. I might say, saw someone today that had this problem. We talked about this, and at the end of it, they went away and they've got a better idea.
Yes.
Is that the kind of thing that I would just, and that may or may not be of interest to you, but I'm putting it out anyway because you might see it and go, actually, that's just pushed the button I need.
Exactly.
That's converted me or got me deeper in. I'm more interested.
Exactly, yeah. So say you're talking about a case study of one of your ideal customers. The idea is that you want to attract more of those ideal customers. So
you say something that's relevant to the ideal customer.
Exactly, yeah. So if that person that you've been talking to has a pain point, the chances are there's going to be lots of other people with that same pain point, essentially. So, but
the people who capture this are people that are already in the funnel because you've already subscribed, you've already got used to.
That's right. They're already essentially in your world.
So when they see Marty from Robson Laidler, they already probably know who Robson Laidler is, or they know who I am. It's
hopefully,
not their first interaction. Normally.
Exactly, yeah. But it's all about building
it might be, but also.
That's right. That's right. It's all about building that ongoing relationship. And don't forget that different social networks work in different ways as well. So say you're posting it on LinkedIn, then if you post it, one of your connections may like that video. They may not be the perfect customer, but their connections may also see that they've liked that video, which then brings this other ideal customer into your world, if that makes sense. So
because I always think clarity is a great thing here, because if you make it absolutely certain what the point of the video is, especially on social, if people, so if I said, we're looking for people who do this, people with pubs who are thinking about selling food. If you've got a mate who's just about to open a pub and start selling food, you're probably going to tag them, aren't you?
Yes.
Or you're going to share it or whatever. So that's it's. I haven't made an advert as such, but it's not hero content using your terms. It's hope, but it will hopefully find its way to the people who want it.
That's right. Yeah. So it's essentially it's valuable content that ideal customer is hopefully gonna see through kind of a second connection. Essentially, they're not a direct connection, but they're brought into your world through that.
Good. Okay, then. So we've got 2 H's so far. What's the next one? Okay,
so the next one is help content. Now, the great thing about help content is it works in both ways. So you can put the content out in front of those ideal customers, so the people who are already following you on those social channels. But also, basically what help content is it's answering a specific question that people have.
Right.
So sometimes people will actually find you from the help content if it's optimized correctly. YouTube
struggling to control their debtors in a business. How do I get debtors under control? If we've got a video on how to get your debtors under control, is that what you mean by they were looking for it?
That's right. Yeah.
They didn't know we had a video, but they were looking for something on that content.
Yeah. So and it could be as simple as how do I complete my tax return, or it could be how can I potentially be making some kind of tax savings.
How do I pay my tax?
Yeah, how do I pay it?
There's hundreds of examples, but yeah.
So it's answering a specific question that your ideal customers have.
And the idea here is you're linking this up presumably with SEO or something, so the description in the video on YouTube links in with the question that they're typing.
That's right, yeah.
I'm simplifying it because that's all I can do, but I presume that's the idea. You've got a video that is called the question that they're probably searching.
Correct, yeah. So, YouTube is the second largest search engine after Google and owned by Google as well. So the way that you would, say you're doing a blog, generally you would optimize that blog for specific keywords, what people are searching for. The title would have that keyword included as well. Things like the tags as well, you'd actually have those keywords included in that in the description. All those different stages. The same is true for YouTube. You would make sure it's in the title, it's in the description, because YouTube actually analyzes the audio as well. If you have that keyword early in the video, so if you mention it early in the video as well, it's more likely to rank. And as you say, things like changing the thumbnail, which most people don't actually do, that could have a massive impact in terms of not just people finding your video if they're searching for it, but also suggested videos as well.
Yeah.
So say someone's already watched a video around whatever topic that you're talking about.
So how to submit a tax return, they've watched one, it didn't make any sense. They think, well, I still need to know.
Exactly, yeah.
The next suggested video might be yours with a good,
exactly,
cracking thumbnail, and hopefully a version that they like.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, it doesn't even need to be at that precise moment in time that they've actually watched that video. They may go away and then your suggested video might come up a couple of days later. So
right, okay then. So again, so we've got Hero, we're Hub, we're Help.
Yes.
What else have we got then?
Okay, so
this is all great so far. I'm loving this.
So yes, let's go back to the original sales funnel.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got their attention. We've built up their interest, and they've started to build that relationship with your brand.
Yeah.
They've seen your brand hopefully more than 7 times. They've built up a desire that where they think, I'd like to.
These guys seem like just the thing I need.
Yes.
To solve that pain that I've got.
Yes. So either they'd like to work with your company or they'd like to buy a specific product.
Yeah.
It's all about getting them to take that action. So making it as easy as possible to do one of two things. Ideally, you want them to spend money with you in an ideal world. Worst case scenario, you want some kind of data from them, ideally an email address. The great thing about just a simple thing like an email address is that you can also upload a series of email addresses. You've got to make sure it's GDPR compliant, of course. That you upload those to whichever social network, could be Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can then remarket to those people on those platforms simply by using the email address, and actually the platform is linking those up to users on their platform.
Of course, I thought about this the other day to find a lot boy. Yeah, I was thinking about exactly this the other day. And that lets you do what then, Mark? So they've seen the Hero content, they've seen the other, they know about us, but we want to hit them now directly, don't we? We want to send them a message.
Yeah, so it's all about giving them a call to action. So generally, your hook content is all about bringing people and actually get them to take that call to action. So generally, it's going to be some kind of remarketed ad based on them viewing your content, essentially.
So it could be how to submit your tax return. We're getting towards, we're 15 days away from the deadline now. Mm-hmm. They haven't been in touch. Mm-hmm. We know they haven't been in touch. We hit them with this remarketed, this hook content. Says, it's only 2 weeks now. It's getting close. Ring now and we can still help you.
Yes.
And they would get that. And we would only send that to people who we know had seen how to submit your tax return. Is that the
That's
idea?
right, yeah. So
and I'm assuming this can all be done technically. Like with technology, I presume you can keep track on who's watched things, done things.
Yeah, so again, from a remarketing perspective, as I say, you can use, if you've got someone's email address, brilliant, because you can either send them an email with a video included in that, or you can actually target them on the social platforms using their email address. So essentially you're putting videos in front of them on, say, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you want to put them, using their email address to actually specifically target them.
And because they've watched the video on how to submit a tax return, they must need to submit a tax return.
Yes.
Otherwise they wouldn't have watched the thing.
Exactly,
They might have gone off and done it on their own, put in, this idea of remarketing to them.
Yeah. Says,
well, and don't forget, we can do that.
Yes.
It's like a nudge, isn't it? It's nudging them after the event.
Exactly, yeah. So it's all about, ideally, say it's on YouTube and someone watches a certain percentage of the video, you can then put them into an audience that you can then show video ads to. You can do this on Facebook and Instagram as well. You can do it on LinkedIn, but it is a bit more limited on LinkedIn because it's generally, you can only remarket to people based on the percentage of a video ad that someone's watched, as opposed to the organic content. So it's slightly different on LinkedIn, but you can still do it.
So you can target, you can create a target audience based on view time.
Yes.
Which is really interesting. So if we, off the top of my head, episode 23 might have been on forecasting. Mm-hmm. Someone's watched the whole thing. Again, they're probably interested in forecasting.
Yes.
We don't want to waste time trying to chase the people who watched 8 seconds of it while they're while they were looking for the next button. But anyone who's watched, more than half of it has probably got a passing interest in forecasting.
Exactly, yeah. And if you think about, how hot a potential lead might be, say someone watched 25% of your video, they aren't going to be as hot as someone who's watched, say, 97% of your video.
Yeah.
So you could literally categorize people.
Or less awake.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you could literally target people who just watched 97% of your video and exclude the rest.
Oh, that's interesting. This only works once you've got enough viewers, of course.
Exactly, yeah.
Because, if you're getting 50 views on a video, you might have half a person who's watched it nearly halfway through. But yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, generally you normally need about, say, 300 people in an audience before you can start remarketing people. Yeah. It varies on different platforms. Right. But generally you're going to need certainly at least 100 people. You used to be able to do it with less than that. But
I mean, to be honest, if everyone's watching all your stuff right through, great. You've nailed it. And then I presume you don't need as big an audience if the percentage of people watching it right through is higher.
Yes.
They're all good candidates, aren't they?
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, the interesting thing about it as well, and something that a lot of businesses forget about, is one thing you can also do. Say you've put this really valuable content out specifically targeted towards this ideal customer. What you can also do is run ads to lookalike audiences. So you can run ads to people who look like so
if they've watched all of that episode and that someone else has basically got the same viewing habits but hasn't watched that episode, they're probably going to like the episode if you can bring it to their attention. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So the more people you have viewing it initially, the more the networks can actually link up people who actually that look like
that's
that
interesting.
person.
I didn't realise you could do that.
Yeah, so look like audiences are really, really important as well.
Right, okay then. So we had hero content, hope content, help content, then hook content.
Hook.
We've got, and at the end of that hook, people are then hopefully a customer.
Yes.
They've bought something, they've subscribed, they've done something. Are we finished then? Or is there still more use for video in marketing?
So again, I think this is where a lot of businesses stop that journey. Some businesses just stop, like literally right at the attention stage anyway.
You speak an advert now. Why are we getting loads of work? Yeah,
and that's all we need. And we work with loads of businesses as well who concentrate their video just at the top of funnel and absolutely smashing it anyway. Do you mean in terms of they haven't been put out this other content? So when they start doing that, it amplifies things even more. Yeah. But essentially, once a business has a customer, it's all about how do we keep that customer, which is hold. So the next kind of content is hold content. How can we keep a hold of that client? And you know what it's like, that it's a lot easier to kind of keep a hold of an existing customer than it is to try and find a new customer.
Absolutely,
so if we can spend some time trying to hold on to that customer and trying to give them as much value as possible once they're in our world, then we're much more likely to keep.
What kind of content goes out in that category then, Mark?
So that might be, it could be, say you've got some kind of software that you're selling, so tutorials all about how to use a specific part of that software. People have any questions at all. We've done this for business in the past where they used to get bombarded, their help desk used to get bombarded with inquiries asking different questions that they couldn't actually keep up with all of the different questions. So we just recorded a series of videos that
answering the commonly asked questions.
Exactly.
Or frequently asked questions. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So, and it made it easier for the client because they could just search for it and get an immediate answer. But it also helped the business because they didn't have staff members being tied up answering the same question over and over again.
Just another one.
Exactly.
Yeah, same question again. Yeah.
So it works from both sides. It really helps streamline the business, but also helps the customer as well.
So something I would imagine a lot of people really struggle with is to think, well, yeah, I would love to do video, but what the hell am I supposed to say?
Yeah.
And we can quickly cover off these things if that's okay, but, what am I going to say? How do I physically do it? Like, you need one of these, you need one of the, can anyone do it? Do you need loads of gear? There's the actual creation. But I think a thing that's massively overlooked, if you've got a team of people, the content shouldn't be hard to come up with because you've got a team of people who just, what queries did he get this week?
Yes.
Oh, well, 4 people asked me how I do this, how I tick that box. Right?
Exactly.
Well, make a video then.
Exactly.
The next time they ring up and go, we've got a video. Well, I say, yeah, here's the link, and hopefully they won't even ring you. They'll just find it in the first place. Yeah.
I think as well as now that compared to when I first started business 17 years ago, the entire world has changed with regards to video.
Yeah.
That back then it was quite expensive to do. You needed the cameras, you need the lights and things like that to be able to do it. Now we actually walk around with a 4K TV studio in our pocket. Yeah. Where you can literally fire it up and answer questions. And I think
and publish. You can literally take it out of your pocket and have published a 30-second reel to Instagram a minute later.
Yeah.
Like 17 years ago you can't even. That's
the thing.
Unimaginable, isn't it?
Well, this is going back to. We used to shoot on digital tapes originally. Kind of now we shoot on.
And you needed highly expert people to do the editing, and the software was bloody expensive. Like
exactly.
The power you've got now in a device. In market, does it? Because obviously depending on the business. Could it literally be someone, just...
Yeah.
Because the content is the key thing now, isn't it?
So you kind of... The quality of your videos is secondary. You can kind of almost like forget about the quality. Just start off with, okay, what kind of videos can we create? Again, all about the ideal customer. And I think one of the mistakes that people make or businesses tend to make is it's all about going for, we want to get, thousands of views, we want to get loads of likes. You kind of got to forget about that a little bit because it's easy to get lots of views on certain social platforms. Yeah. TikTok for one, it's really easy to get thousands of likes straight out of the gate without having a following. But it's whether those people are going to potentially turn into customers. Yeah. Whereas if you're creating content, so say it's in a B2B situation, if you're creating valuable content targeted towards your ideal customer and you're putting it on, say, LinkedIn, it won't get the same number of views as it would do on TikTok, but the value of those views is a lot stronger.
Yeah. I was going to say it's so, if you can get a video seen by everybody, great, but everybody's not a potential customer. So then say, well, for us, anybody in business, right, okay, we've stepped down. But we don't want every type of business. So it's much better to get, actually there's 100 people there. If we can get half of that 100 people watching it, that would be sweet for us. Yeah. That would be great.
And that's the thing, so one of the things we say is, how many views do you think it takes to get a sale? Have you got any ideas how many views?
Well, it's just one, presumably.
Exactly, yeah. So you only need one view.
Yeah, so it's the right viewer, isn't it?
Exactly. So if you've got the right viewer watching that video, then that's all you need. You don't need all of these.
Yeah. The chances, I presume there's still a correlation to the more people view it, statistically, you've got a better probability of getting that viewer. Yeah. I get that. But
so
also,
engagement.
if you can target the people watching it, it doesn't matter how many you get. If you can either just try and mass, get everybody and hope to find people, or you can target and make sure it's on the platforms where they are, where they're hanging about, where they spend their time.
Yes. And I think, again, this is one of the things that, I'm not saying that engagement, doesn't matter at all, because it does. Increases reach and, it just gets it in front of a larger audience if you have got that engagement. But by totally just focusing on engagement, I think that's where businesses fail and they kind of start to forget about.
I think it's a bit like in business, turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. Well, yeah, you can get as many sales as you want, but if they're bad sales or they're not profitable sales, why are you wasting your time? And I think it's a bit like that, isn't it? Well, I got 100,000 views. Oh, great. Yeah. How much did he sell? Nothing. Oh.
And I think it's easy for businesses to become demoralised when they don't get kind of all these thousands of views that they maybe see the competitor getting.
It's not demoralising at all, Mark, and I don't know why.
But
ironically, we're a case in point. Our view rates aren't colossal, as anyone watching this can see. But interestingly, James, our producer there, and I were at an event recently where 2 different people came up and said, I saw your video on inflation. That was awesome. I've sent it to my mate who's a teacher, and I've told him he's got to show the kids. And it's like, oh, that's worth it then. Of the 50 people that watched it, 2 of them actually sought us out and thanked us for the video,
so
which was far more important. It really was. Not just saying that, but yeah, just that felt really good.
And did they comment and like on the original post at all?
I think they did, and actually I did say to them afterwards, well, can you please go in and comment on there, because of course you get interaction. That is where you start to get the viral spread, isn't it?
Because exactly. But sometimes because we found the same thing, that people who've maybe watched some of our videos, they don't necessarily engage with it. There's so many different people who are lurkers who don't engage, which is fine.
My wife never hits comments, nothing ever. She's like, oh, I don't want anyone to know that I like anything. Like, okay,
which is absolutely fine. But the fact is that they've still got value from it, even though they haven't necessarily engaged. And I think that's the thing, is kind of almost like forgetting about the engagement is the primary focus. Because that's going to come naturally anyway if people are kind of really striking a chord with that kind of content.
Good.
Essentially.
Well, listen, Mark, we're about half an hour in. We normally finish by asking everyone, what's the biggest mistake people are making in video marketing at the minute?
The biggest mistake I see people making generally is they're trying to be everything to everyone instead of, and again, this is something that we really drilled down in our event, where it's all about really laser focusing your efforts and trying to even laser focus down onto a single person, because if you can laser focus down onto that one person, it's a lot easier to then talk with them, engage with them. If you've got a picture of them as well, it's a lot easier to relate to them, and you can make a list of all the different questions that they might ask. And it's not to say that people who don't look like that person aren't going to work with your business, but it's a lot easier to then think, okay, what kind of content can we create?
Yeah. I mean, we've got exercises we run with clients about coming up with your ideal client or customer persona.
Yes.
And we do some visualization stuff where we literally say, here's a sheet of paper, I want you to draw them. And people start writing and go, no, draw let us take you there and spend half an hour drawing what they look like. Because you can get from that what sex they are, what age they are, what they're wearing, are they sporty, are they small. If you're selling bowler hats, you're not going to draw some kid in shorts, are you? And helping to visualize can really make a difference, because then you can start making stuff that person would watch.
Exactly.
Well, that's 100%. Quite handy. And if you're trying to help someone come up with a video idea, you need to know what that person looks like, don't you?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Otherwise you're just shooting content out of the air, and it's like, well, it might land on someone, but why not target it? Yeah.
So I remember, this has gone back like 25 years now. When I worked in radio before making the move across to TV and radio, was I used to work in the radio advertising department, where we used to actually create the ads that would go out on air.
Yeah.
So the sales team would bring us a brief in terms of who we're targeting, what you want them to do, and why they should do it, essentially. And there was one day we got a brief through, and the target audience was anyone who uses water. And it's like, so anyone who uses water, okay, that could be literally anyone, because everyone uses water.
That's everybody.
So, yeah,
because everybody is the same as nobody, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
So we do a lot of referral marketing, and you get a 60-second elevator pitch. If you say, I'm looking for anyone who has a house, people just switch off because they think, well, that's just everybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you say, I'm looking for people who live in Cramlington, oh, actually my uncle lives in Cramlington, I'll listen. Or I wanted people who live in the shadow of a pylon in Cramlington. All right, okay, it's starting to, you pique people's interest.
Yeah.
It doesn't apply to everybody all of a sudden, but the people who it does apply to, they hear it, they pick up on it, don't they?
That's the thing, it's all about that laser focus, essentially, that you've got to be so laser focused in your approach. And I think this is true of business in general. The ones that are kind of really laser focused on a certain area, the ones that seem to achieve the most longer term.
Okay. Well, Mark, where can people find out more about this?
Our website is mediapartnership.co.uk, so check us out on there. You can see lots of examples of our work and things as well. And if you did want to learn more about video marketing, we've got a free Facebook group for our Film Hero product. So just go to Facebook, just search for Film Hero Group, and then you can find us on there. And there's loads of tips posted every single day on there. So
sounds good. Well, listen, Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I hope you got something from that. Whether you're thinking about your first hero content or you're trying to hold on to your customers, there was something for everyone there. Some great tips and great ideas. And I think as soon as you know who you're after, just get started. You don't need a big budget. You don't need.
That's the thing. Get out your phone, start recording video.
Start doing
There's no excuse.
Put it out there. It doesn't matter if it looks a bit shaky, as long as what you're saying is relevant to someone. Hope you've enjoyed that episode, and as always, we look forward to seeing any comments. We ask you to like and subscribe if you like, and if you are enjoying this, leave a review. It does help. Thanks very much. See you next time.
Thanks a lot.